Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Mike. Mike is from England in the UK. So let's see what Mike has to say. Enjoy the interview. Can you hear me well?
I
Okay,
can, yes, very much.
amazing.
Thanks for,
Yeah.
having me on.
So hello Mike, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I can't complain. No, life is good. Yeah,
Amazing.
very much.
So tell me, how was your day today?
To be honest with you, I've been doing a lot of resting the past couple of weeks. Even though I'm a producer for films, I had some spinal surgery about a month ago, so I'm progressively getting back on my feet again. But I can't do it too quickly, or I'll end up back in hospital again. So yeah, I'm trying to relax as much as I can. The kids are looking after me, the cat's looking after me. So yeah, I'm in a good place.
Amazing. So tell me, where are you from, Mike?
I'm actually based, even though I've got a bit of a Scouse accent. I'm probably about 7 miles from Liverpool. So I'm in between Chester and Liverpool. So it's a little town called Ellesmere Port,
I see.
on the Cheshire, where they have the Cheshire Oaks Outlet Village, which is always advertised. That's where I live.
And that's the place where you're born and raised?
I was born and raised in Chester. Well, born in Chester, raised in Ellesmere Port. Yeah, I've been here for as long as I can remember. Yeah, obviously I'm 48, but I've lived out of the country a couple of times in my life. I used to live in Southern Ireland, but kind of my heart brought me back to where I was brought up. Like, it was lovely over in Ireland. It was so scenic. It was a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. I'll probably go back when I fully retire.
And tell me, so as you already mentioned about your career as a film producer, so walk me through a little bit more about your career, how everything started.
Well, funny enough, my older profession is working in surgical operating theatres. I'm trained in assisting surgeons and senior nurses in operating theatres.
Wow.
The urology, every kind of speciality you can imagine, except for the brain. That's done over in Walton. But yeah, I've done that for, gosh, 14 years.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I had this fall, originally it was 1.5 years ago, was when I was still working. I had this fall and it affected me long term, and I had to retire from the NHS.
I see.
And it's a bit of a, I had to get myself together and see what I wanted to do. Now I couldn't go back in to working in operating theatres. And my heart's always been with films. I know everyone loves films, but it's not just films, it's soundtracks to films. Everything inspires me. So yeah, no, I kind of got in touch with a couple of guys who were making films, got their advice, and I've gone from there. So I started off independently, helping to fund films.
Yeah.
And it went from there. And more and more films I've done, producing. And as of now, I've got directors coming to me saying, "Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, definitely." But obviously, it's more home based at the moment. Once I can get back on my feet, I can then go on set.
Amazing. Great. It's amazing for you to be able to, after, you finished your old career, you start something new. And I think that's it inspired to see people just start a new career and exploring and then having the best of their lives.
Exactly. It's hard. It's trying to start again and think, what do I want to do? I always wanted to work for the NHS, until I fully retired in my 60s or 70s. So I didn't realise I'd be retiring at the age of 48. I am going to miss it massively, but I'm enjoying all the sides, all the different things that I can do in regards to films. So far, obviously this year, I've managed to help produce 15 films.
Wow.
Which is a lot. Hopefully I've got another 2 towards the end of the year, depending on how my fitness is. And then there's quite a few going into 2025. So apart from doing that and then being a busy dad of 5 children.
Got 5 children?
5 children. I've got a daughter who's in her 20s. My boys are 19, 16, 12 and 11.
Oh, that's sweet.
So they keep me busy. They're a huge part of my life. If it wasn't for the kids, I would have struggled when I originally came out of my job in the NHS. But they were kind of there to pick me up and make me realise that, hang on, you can't dwell and put your head in the sand. You've got children to look after here. And it was a single dad. I wouldn't have thought of it 20 years ago, but I wouldn't turn back time now, because it makes you the person that you are now. And I'm glad to be the person that I am. I wouldn't change anything now.
Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your views, okay?
Yeah.
Mike, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Very much. Yeah.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Hey.
So I'm my best friend. Okay, full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Amazing. First question for you is, what's one thing you can't live without?
My children.
And
I can't live without my children. And I assume every parent would say exactly the same thing. Yes, they sometimes drive us up the wall, but that's another reason to love them.
Oh, so tell me, what's the biggest joy of being a dad?
Gosh, the biggest joy is when I wake up in the morning and they're there.
Wow.
Sometimes you don't want to go to bed because you don't get to see your kids. My youngest, I still sit in their bedrooms now until they're asleep. I shouldn't do that with an 11, 12-year-old. My 2 oldest boys, obviously I can't do now because they're too old, or they'd beat me up and kick me out of the room. But the youngest 2, I'm trying to keep hold of it for as long as I possibly can. Because obviously as they get older, obviously, God forbid, I wouldn't want them to want me less. So I'm taking advantage of it now.
Wow. Okay, so let's see that your 5 children, they are watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say?
I would say, Evelyn, Aaron, Harvey, Oliver, Jacob, and my gorgeous grandson, Theo, thank you for being in my life and giving me purpose.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. And you are a granddad as well.
I'm a granddad as well, yeah.
Oh, sweet, very sweet. Next question, let's do it. Hey, next question for you is, What was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
My best friend growing up, to be honest with you, as I was growing up, I was more of heavy metal, and I tend to keep to myself in my younger years.
Huh?
To be honest with you, I didn't really have a best friend until I started working for the NHS.
Okay.
We both. It sounds more like a love story, but it's not. We're obviously because he's married, and but it's the fact of we hit it off straight away. It was more like a brother. It was more like a brother, and since we got to meet each other, we've been in both lives with each other ever since.
Wow.
If he has issues, I help him. He tries to ring me every day to try and pick my head up out of the sand with me being stuck at home. But yeah, his name's Dave, and he worked with me in theatres, and I couldn't pick a better friend or brother.
Tell me what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
The biggest difference is I'd probably say he likes to party more. I don't. I'm very reserved. I like to stay in. As I said, it's very rare that I get in front of a camera. I like to work behind the scenes. So that would probably say is the biggest difference. In regards to things that we do the same, our attitudes towards our children are exactly the same, and how special our kids are.
Wow, beautiful.
I'd say that's the reason why we're close as we are as mates.
Amazing. Okay, next question. Let's do it. You like dancing, Mike?
I used to. I think in my age, I used to do more breakdancing back in the 80s. Obviously, if I was to do that now, I'd get beat up. You know, to try and break dance. No one would understand. The kids of nowadays, they'd probably think I was having a fit or something.
Before the next question, tell me so far, what do you like the most about working as a film producer? What do you like the most about the business?
I can honestly say, in particular jobs, we're not automatically remembered for what we do. Working in the NHS, the patient isn't necessarily going to put in a good word about you because you're there to do a service. With being a producer, all I have to do is look on the International Movie Database, and I'm there. My name's there. So it's kind of it glorifies the fact that I was here and I'd done something, and it's always going to be there, even when it passed. People will look back in the films and probably say, "Who's this Mike Davies?" Or my kids will tell their friends, "That's my dad."
Wow.
So that's one of the biggest things in regards to working in the film industry.
And what do you like the most about being Mike? What do you like the most about being you?
You know what? At 48, I'm still finding out new things every day. Because I'm classed as disabled now, so obviously I can't walk properly. My left leg was damaged, so that's completely numb. And when I can go out, even if it's a short walk to keep active, it's seeing how people look at you differently.
Right.
And I wouldn't have realised that unless I was disabled. So without a walking stick or crutches, no one would really bat an eyelid. But when I'm out, it's strange. You learn all these new things. So
Mhm.
I'm learning new things every day, and you know, it helps me more everything that I learn every day because the world is changing. It
Mhm.
helps me more to understand my kids as well because
Absolutely.
they're online. They've got iPads, PS4s, PS5. They've all got iPads. They've all got Switches, um, and I'm no good at computer games at all. I watch them, and I've turned into my dad. You know, where he would say to me, Mike, what are you doing? And I'd explain to him. That's the fact of they're doing that now, and I'm saying to them, boys, what are you doing? And yeah, every day is a learning curve.
Amazing. Okay. Next question for you is, 2020 when the world went upside down, yeah, with the coronavirus. Tell me
Mhm.
something that you've learned, something positive that came out for you out of that challenge journey.
It, again, I'm going to use the same phrase that I got to understand my children more again
Mhm.
because we don't really have many days out. Um, Obviously, we couldn't have any days out with the lockdown, and I learned to be a kid again, playing board games. I'd get the board games out. When I was working, I never had time to do these things, and it wasn't until I got gone to bed and I'd be like, oh, why didn't I do that?
Uh-huh.
So while we were under lockdown, we'd be drawing, painting, board games, um, and we connected with family more over the phone.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, I learned even more about me and about the children, even though they're my kids. It's kind of like strange to say I'm learning more about my own children, um, but it's made me who I am. I always believe whatever happens to you on a daily basis prepares you
Mhm.
for things in the future.
Yeah,
I'm not massively spiritual, but I do believe that.
totally.
Um, so the way that I was before I started the NHS, that prepared me for NHS.
Absolutely.
Um, and now I've finished with the NHS, I can use my skills, business head towards the film industry. And now, whereas like 20 years ago, I'd struggle to speak to someone because I wouldn't want to. Now, you know, people are trying to get away from me while I'm talking to them. I'm walking after them. You know, it's yeah, I'm a different person now, but for the best again.
Amazing. Very good. Next question, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Next one. Next question for you is, what is the worst first date have you ever been on?
The worst first date. Oh gosh, worst first date.
Or the worst or the most funny or the more memorable, something that happened to you on the first date that you're never going to forget.
There's one in particular. I'm not sure if I should say. Um, yeah, I'm going to. It's not. It's while I did this was a long time ago before I was married. Just want to say that. Um, I went out to Chester one evening with my friends, and we ended up bumping into a group of girls, and one of the girls I got very attached to, and she got attached to me. We then partnered off and just done our own thing around Chester. She invited me back to her house, but it's not going to get steamy. But I swear to God, it's not going to get steamy. And obviously, when I walked into her house, it was lovely. There was pictures all over the place, and I probably spent a good 2 or 3 hours with her at her house, not saying what happened. And then I noticed a picture on the fireplace of a man.
Say that
And
again. Say that again. What happened?
there was a picture on her fireplace of a
I
man.
I see.
And I thought, oh, he's probably passed away. And I said, "Who's this guy? You know, this picture?" She said, "That's my husband." And I froze.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it was kind of like I went completely white. And
I'm frozen. I'm frozen as well right now.
she got a call to say that her husband actually worked in the army as well.
Oh my God.
So I said, well, assuming he's away then. She went, no, he's out in Chester, which is
Oh
where
my.
I've just come from. And she got the call before I could do anything that he was on his way home.
No way.
So
Oh
I'm
my God.
stuck in his house outside of Chester in the middle of nowhere. And as I was thinking about leaving through the front door, he pulled up in his car.
Oh my
So
God.
I could only think it's something out of a film. I ran through the house, up the stairs, into the bedroom, grabbed my clothes, opened the window, threw the clothes out the window, hung down from the window, jumped down, picked up my clothes, and I ran.
Oh my God. That's now you just said what you've done before.
I was. That's not the type of thing that I go for. As soon as she said, "Oh, that's my husband," I was like, "Oh,
Oh my God.
yeah." So I'm surprised that didn't put me off.
What a moment.
Ever
What-
since. Luckily, obviously, I don't have any problems like that anymore because I don't go out. You know, I'm the type of person. My kids go out now, and I'll pick them up from clubs.
Did you ever ask her why she did that, or just finish there?
I finished there. I didn't have a number. Yeah, we didn't get to see each other again in Chester.
Oh my God, it's so fun. I mean, funny, but very scary.
It was then, yeah. Well, when I look back now and I tell the story to my friends, they found it hysterical.
That's fun. Oh my God, I love that you just remember that. Wow, I would never expect something that to happen. That's funny. Next question, let's do it. So before the next question, you talk about the NHS. So tell me, what was the best part of your journey over there working in the NHS? I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell, a lot of memories. What did you enjoy the most about working for the NHS?
It's I'd say that the fact of our main role, even though we're paid there to do a job, we're making a difference to someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they've got family or not, in some worst case scenarios, we could be the last person that they see. So we have to reassure the patients. Obviously, the doctors will reassure the family. But the biggest thing is that we make a difference to their life. We try the best we can within our ability to save that patient's life. If it came to that point, but in my whole 12-year career of working in theatres, with patients passing away, with minimal. So it's the fact that I'd go and see the patient before they go into theatre, and then I would see them then in recovery, waking up. So it's to see the full journey coming in and waking up and reassuring them they're fine. That's the biggest thing that I loved about the NHS. And I still love. You know, I'm jealous that my colleagues can still do it. It was an exciting job. Because every day was never the same. In 12 years, every day was never the same.
When you say that they were going to the theatre, what do you mean by that?
Operating theatres.
Operation. When they were going to operation. Oh, I see.
Yes.
Now.
Sorry, yeah. So operating theatres in the NHS. So that's what we call them, theatres. I know it wasn't one, it wasn't, you know, singing and dancing and talking away.
That's why I was a bit confused. I was like,
I do apologise.
It's okay. It's okay. I kind of about it, but
yes. So obviously there is a full process that the patient goes through.
I
so
see.
something that can seem like a matter of seconds for a patient from being put to sleep to be woken up. There's operations that you could be in there for 24 hours.
I see.
And you would stay. You would want to stay. The managers would never come in and say, right, who's staying and who's going home. We would always stay because it was always a thing. We would never leave the patient. The team that was with the patient would stay with the patient.
I see.
And that's worthwhile thing I've done with the NHS. I'm never going to forget it. If I could click my fingers now and everything in my spine was fine, I'd be back in theatres tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. Okay, this question is going to be very easy for you. What does family mean to you?
Family, happiness. For me, it's don't get me wrong, there's a couple of arguments with the kids.
Of course.
Here and there. So I don't think many parents appreciate the importance of family. It's to do happiness and love, being together, supporting each other. You know, I would do anything for my kids. I'd do anything for my family. I feel for people that don't have family. And again, reversing back into the NHS, people that didn't have any family, you'd become their family while they were having the operations. That's why it was so important.
Wow, amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. There you go. You can dance now. I can see. Next question is, what do you like to cook the most?
Cook?
Yeah.
I'm very OCD when it comes to cooking. My kids have told me I'm very boring when it comes to food, because right, this is the rota for food. On a Saturday we do pizza. On a Sunday we do spaghetti bolognese, and the kids help me with that. On a Monday we have potato waffles, just on their own. And on a Tuesday, we call it Takeaway Tuesday, because we can get around the table together. Usually, if I'm cooking for all them, I don't cook for myself. I just have a bowl of cereal. But if it's Takeaway Tuesday, we'll all have the KFC or the Burger King or the McDonald's together. But in regards to cooking, I adore cooking. If I had children that had a wider spectrum in food, I used to cook, but believe it or not, I do like a chicken breast. Inside I put tomatoes, roll up the chicken breast, tie it all off, fry it in the pan, sear it on both sides and put it in the oven. Obviously, so when you bring it out, you cut it in half, the tomatoes come out. I would then put it on asparagus with a little thing of fluffy mashed potato and peppercorn sauce.
Wow, I feel hungry now after that.
If I could become a chef, I'd love to do that as well. You know, because I'm very good under stress, especially with 5 kids and working in theatres, operating theatres. You've either got to lost your marbles or be really good under pressure.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Hey, Mike from England. Next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
What can make me cry? I'm really happy. Do
you cry easily?
I'm a very emotional person. But we have to keep up again, I seem to be reverting back to theatres as an example, but we're only human. So when patients don't make it, unfortunately, we'd close that operating theatre down and we'd all cry together as a team and look after the patient until they go off. So true stories make me cry. Oh gosh, I don't think I've ever been asked that. if kids cry, if my boys would cry, I would cry. I don't like to see them upset.
Right.
I'd say that's it. I'm not saying that I'm not a very emotional person. I am, but with the jobs that I've worked in, if for some reason it's locked more away, it's got to be really, really close to home that something's happened, which would really upset me.
I see.
So yeah, that'll be it.
What's the meaning of life for you, Mike?
But this is a funny question. I always think about this every day. Always. That's a fantastic question. The meaning of life. What do we need to learn? Originally, people say we need to lead a good life. I see it as if we haven't learned that lesson, I believe you get sent back afterwards if we don't learn that lesson.
I think the same.
Until we learn it, if you do learn it, I call we go home when we pass over. So it's to lead the best life that you can. But for me as a parent, is to lead the children the right path. Because children learn a lot from parents and from other adults around them. So it's been able to kind of mold your children. I'm here now, since I've had the children, to show them the right path. Obviously, some things are right, some things are wrong. But it's telling them where they were right or where they were wrong. Don't just tell them the right or wrong, because they're not going to learn from that. But yeah, it is to lead a good life. Me, as a parent, to lead a good life and lead my children to the best life.
And what's the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your children so far? Say again, sorry, I missed it.
There's so many things that they've taught me. Before I got married, and before obviously kids were in my life, I was the type of person that originally didn't want any children. I didn't think that I was going to meet someone to have children with.
Wow.
And I didn't know what love was. And the kids now teach me what love is.
Yeah.
As children, what it is to be a parent. And you'd never think that. You'd think you as a parent, maybe an adult, could show you, what do I need to do? But it's the kids that look up to me and show me what love's all about. Wow. And every time I think about them, they make me smile. Yeah, they're the light of my life.
Beautiful. Wow, amazing. Last question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, you already mentioned a few moments, work for the NHS, sad moments, happy moments, tears. But when you look back, tell me a moment or a situation that you're never going to forget. For one reason or another, always going to have a special place in your heart.
I would say, again, I'm reversing back to the NHS, to a patient that didn't have family. And this patient spent a long time in theatre, operating theatre, and their recovery was a long one. Now, us in theatres, we're taught just to, when the patient goes back to the ward, the nurses then look after the patient. Okay. I didn't. When I'd finish work, I'd go and visit every patient that came through the operating theatre, especially the ones that didn't have a family.
Oh.
Because I had a family to go home to, and they didn't. So I wanted to do that, and I'd have a drink of water with them to make sure that they were all right. And there was one time that a particular patient, over a matter of time, me getting to know this patient, passed away, and obviously that was fed back to us. Obviously, it was fed back to me because I had a close bond with the patient, and the patient herself had a bundle of items that she wanted me to have, but unfortunately, working for the NHS, we're not allowed to accept them.
Mm-hmm.
We're not allowed to accept any gifts, any money.
Mm-hmm.
But this person felt enough in her heart to give me something. But she had no family.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that was a big difference that I made. And obviously, I gave the stuff back to the people that brought it, and gave them a choice on her behalf, her patient's behalf, to sell it on.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't accept anything. But that's the difference that the NHS make, and how important one person, just one person, can spend a couple of minutes just to show a person what family's like. So that's the biggest thing that's always stuck with me, and it always will, always will.
Yeah, those moments in life is, as you said, it's gonna always be there. You know what I mean? It's those special moments. It's so simple sometimes, but it means the world.
Exactly. It's scary for them as a patient.
Of
They
course.
feel alone because we're not meant to have bonds with patients, but this would be out of my work time,
Mm-hmm.
my time, so you can do whatever you want in your own time.
Absolutely. You know, do you know what? Thanks for sharing, Mike. That, do you know what I was thinking the other day? I was thinking to myself, my God, I think people who, you know, works like nurses, you know, doctors, people who works helping people, like, you know, for them to get healthy, or to, you know, I think it's a gift. Not everyone can do that. You know, not everyone. I think it's a special gift that you have it to be able to performance your job. You know what I mean? In hospitals, in caring place, could be anywhere. I think when you are helping people somehow, you are giving your time to them. And I think for you to be able to do that, it's a gift. You need to be gifted to do that. I was thinking that about that the other day. I was like, my God, that's, you know, those people, it's just something special about them. You know what I mean?
It's always treating them the way you don't want to be treated as a patient. You know, in time, I am going to be a patient. We're all going to be patients, whether we have family waiting for us or not. And I would like to talk to someone if I haven't got any family. I want to be not reassured, but acknowledged as a person. I was here.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things when I go back to the IMDb, the database, the film, I've kind of put my mark on 15 films saying I was here.
Of course. Amazing.
So it's gone full circle, the full journey from being in the NHS and being in the film industry now.
Amazing. Okay, last question is, if you could sit down with your 13 years old self, what would you say?
That's a tough one because I was a little rebel at a young age. I done stuff that I was told not to do. I still done it. I wouldn't want to change and say, look, don't do this, don't do that, because it would have a big impact, like the butterfly effect. When you change something, even the smallest thing in the past, it will affect the person that you're going to be in the future.
Yeah.
I'd say don't change the person you are, but listen to what other people have to say. That's what I would say.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so then yes, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family.
Children.
Money.
Ooh, debt.
Fear.
Always.
Life.
Live it.
Love.
Love it.
Religion.
Understand it better.
Okay, one word for politics.
Politics. I don't know for politics.
Okay, not right or wrong. Sex.
Passion.
Amazing. Friendship.
Forever.
Desire.
Want.
Okay, regret.
Yes.
Okay, success.
Enjoy.
Wish.
Kindness.
Happiness.
Family.
One word for England.
United.
One word for filmmaker.
Artist.
The last one now. One word for NHS.
Love.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet all your children all together, and I'm going to ask all of them. They're going to agree to define you in one positive word and one negative word. What all of them they would agree on?
As a negative, grumpy. Because I don't get much sleep. I am grumpy, but again, it makes me who I am.
Of course.
I'd be boring if I wasn't grumpy. As a positive would be, I've got to use two words: hugs and kisses.
So you hug them a lot, all the time?
All the time, whatever age they are. You know, they could be from age of 11 up to the age of 21. They're going to get the hugs in their 50s if I'm still here.
I love it. Let's play now Mike and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, you can ask me a question now.
Okay. With all the people that you've interviewed in the past, what's the biggest lesson you've learned off so many people?
Wow, what a great question. Actually, Mike, today, 3rd of October, we are doing this interview, and today I'm celebrating 4 years since I launched the show 4 years ago. Yeah. So today, 3rd of October, was the 2020, or the first day when the Magic Box went live for the first time. Of course, before that, I started doing the interviews, I think was in June 2020, but I launched the show today. Today was the day when I was excited over the place. Like, I remember the day of literally like all over the place, so excited. Okay, over 1,300 interviews that I've done here on the show, what I've learned from people. You know what? The biggest lesson I've learned so far is that I think all of us, at the same time, we are so different. Yeah,
I was thinking that exactly the same thing.
People all over the world, like, my God, literally the Magic Box went to every continent in the world. And I realized that people, we are so different, but at the same time as well, we are very similar. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your sexuality. It doesn't matter what you believe. All of us, I realized that all of us, we are here trying to be a better person. We are here trying to achieve our dreams, to go after our dreams, and to express ourselves. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned because, again, we are very different, but at the same time as well, we are very similar. There's a similarity between all of us, that you know, just talking to different people around the globe, that when you realize that, when you go like, okay, now I can see, you know, people, we have some similarity as well. It doesn't matter your, you know, the color you are, it doesn't matter what you come from where you come from, but there's always a similarity. And that's what I've learned, that at the same time we are very different, we are very similar as well. So that's the biggest lesson I've learned since I started doing the show 4 years ago.
Oh, excellent. Oh, yeah. I would have struggled with that question. What have I learned? You are right in regards to, we're all the same as humanity.
Yeah.
But we've all gone down different paths and learned different things from different people.
Yeah.
But deep down in here, we're all the same.
We are all the same, and we are in the same boat, all of us.
Exactly.
We are all in the same boats. You know, I think that's what I realized as well. Great question. Thanks so much for making me go through all this, you know, the thoughts. Barney, thanks so much. Did you enjoy
I appreciate you having me. It's actually helped me as well, because I don't go out much at the moment. It's kind of like opens the door to the outside world and speaking to someone new. So it's heightened my spirits a lot. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm the one very thankful. Thanks so much for being so kind and accept my invitation. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was fascinated to hear your stories about your journey on NHS, and now you have a new career now and a film producer. And it's amazing. It's very inspiring to see people, you know, exploring different areas and having their best lives. And
exactly. I've got a book that's coming out in a couple of weeks. While I've been off, I've written a book, and it's based a bit on my time in the NHS.
I love it. I'd love to read it.
When it comes, I'm still waiting for the proof copy for me to look at it. Once it's all finished and I've got them, I'll contact you again and get your information. I'll post it to you.
Oh my God, I love it. I can't wait. And I'll read it and I'll give you feedback. I'm sure. I would love that. Thanks so much, Mike.
No worries.
I'm sure there's going to be lovely stories there for sure.
Oh yeah, very much.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Positive message is lead by example, be happy, love people. It's a horrible world that we live in. And what I've come to understand, one person can make a difference. Don't think to yourself, I'm only one person, because that one person will make a difference. So go for it.
Amazing. Very good. Thanks so much. Regards
all
to your
best.
For you too. Regards to your kids and your family and friends, and you keep in touch. Okay. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Okay.
Thank you. Take care.
Night. Bye. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.